5-year-old victim and 2 sexual predators, both young adults. Sexual predators in such cases have to be looked at much more closely. Understanding the minds of the sex offenders is of utmost importance in the prevention of sexual abuse and sexual violence against children. Where are the perpetrators of rape coming from? What makes them commit rape? To answer these questions, this week we turn our attention to the minds of rapists. Experts say perpetrators are like any of us and they are living in our homes.
I have to respond to who is the person. I will say anyone. There's no mark, actually visible signs written on someone's face that he or she or that person is a rapist or an abuser of small children. I think a lot of incest, rape and violence happens within respectable families. A lot of it is unreported.
Of late, the kind of sexual violence and brutality and the dangerous and kind of a behavior which we see of late, it looks like, that every second person is a psychopath. It is the survivor or the family which needs support, but the perpetrator needs to be understood. Where are they coming from? Is it a systemic failure?
Sex offending of children is it's a compulsive activity. Okay, if a perpetrator sexually abuses one child, there are very high chances of him continuing to perpetrate against other children. So even if you want to stop sexual abuse from happening, you need to actually intercept this and maybe even, I would say, have treatment facilities for offenders rather than just punishment, into jails.
NDTV travelled to the villages of the 2 accused in the gang rape of a 5-year-old child in Delhi on 15th April. Both the perpetrators belong to a specific socio-economic group. One worked as a mason, the other in a clothes shop. But the common feature they shared with most sex offenders is a history of violence. Small acts that over time escalated into deviant behavior. Manoj, one of them, belongs to Bhatwa village, Muzaffarpur district. Here we find pointers to a dysfunctional family. For instance, the reports surrounding Manoj's marriage, suggesting coercion and misdemeanor, and the grandparents who have been deserted by the family.
इसन बरस से हम अलग छी अपन एगो बूढ़ी है अपन अहाँ के हुनकर चाकरी कर के अपन रोटी रोजी चला ले छी एक शाम खाऊ तब आ दोनों शाम खाऊ तब सकरा सकरा कोई बहस
बियाह शादी भेली त कहां पूछ पाछ हमरा कल
कभी कोई तरह के मदद
पूछो न कहियो न
2 years ago, Manoj stabbed his schoolmate in Delhi.
एक बैग हम पे चाकू मार दिया पीछे से वार कर दिया कुछ भी नहीं हुआ तो वही बैग चेक कर रहा था उसे मना किए बैग चेक क्या छू रहा है उसी पे चाकू मार दिया इतना ही.
The families arrived at a settlement and the police case was withdrawn. It was just one of many troubling incidents.
एक बार एक लोग बता रहे थे कि उसके कोई अपने फर्क में ही था कोई भतीजी के क्या था कोई ऐसी रिश्तेदारी में उसके था उसके साथ भी अभद्र व्यवहार करने का कोशिश किया तो उसको निकाला फिकाला.
The second accused, Pradeep, has been a persona non grata in his own village, Ahyapur in Shekhpura district.
पहले इसका काम था चोरी करना घर में उसके बाद यहाँ किसी से कोई मतलब नहीं रखता था इसको मोहल्ला टल्ला हम लोग जो है इसको यहाँ से भगा देते थे कि हाँ भाई नहीं रहो तुम चोरी करता है.
गलत प्रवृत्ति का तो था ही. कुछ दिन पूर्व भी पटना में रहता था सर एक होटल में काम करता था वहाँ भी एक चोरी के मामला में ही जेल जा चुका है सर और पटना पुलिस इसको एक बार शेखपुरा से ले गई थी पकड़ के. मोहल्ले में भी ज्यादा कदा कभी किसी का मोबाइल निकाल लिया किसी का पर्स निकाल लिया.
But their abnormal pattern of behavior was disregarded by the family and the community. The 2 men were out of control.
In societies that have good social control mechanisms and or legal framework, they are contained. I think the major trouble that we need to recognize about our society and nation is that we are in this rapidly transiting phase of going from traditional to the postmodern and almost overnight. And so that individual susceptibility of criminal behavior, finds easy vent in people who are prone to it, because one, there is disappearing social control mechanisms. There is such anomie and anonymity in the modern urban megalopolis living. There is very little fear or certainty of criminal justice system, and there is very little proactive preventive policing.